Hey guys, Sean from The Good Dog, and this is a TGD video tip, and I want to talk about precautions with your dog. Being cautious, being careful, being real, being honest with yourself and with everyone else about your dog's situation, staying out of denial, which can get you or your dog in big trouble and could get your dog killed. So, being in the world that we're in, we get a lot of emails, a lot of personal messages. We have dogs that actually come in, or we hear from other trainer, colleagues that, all sorts of different stories. Dogs that have bitten other dogs, dogs that have attacked other dogs, dogs that have killed other dogs, dogs that have bitten people from mild to severe, right? Really bad stuff. And what ends up happening is dog, at the least, something really horrible has happened to someone else's dog or to another person, which is a horrible thing all on its own. Then things can escalate from there. You can find yourself in a lawsuit. Things escalate from there. You can find that your dog ends up getting deemed dangerous dog, or your dog might get taken away, your dog might get quarantined, or your dog might be put down. All sorts of things can happen, from the mild, which sucks, to the incredibly severe, which sucks incredibly, terribly badly, right? So it's a lose-lose for everyone. The other dog that gets hurt is a lose. The person that gets hurt is a lose. And then for you and your dog, it's a lose-lose. So it's an easy one to fall into. A lot of us, have challenging dog situations, yet we have conflicting ideas or ideals about what we want to do with our dogs. Might want to have our dogs off leash, might want to have our dogs meet other dogs, might have this hope in our heart that it was just that one time that they did that, or the 2 times or the 3 times, but those were special circumstances and that won't happen again, and I'm hopeful that it's going to be okay this time. It's denial stuff, guys. If your dog's gotten himself into trouble with other dogs, there's something going on. There's something real that needs to be realistically looked at and addressed. If your dog has been uncomfortable, bad, growly, snarly, circling, or has actually taken action and snapped or bitten someone, it's not just, oh, it was Aunt Martha or this one person who did the one thing. It's something that needs to be looked at. You gotta get out of denial land with it. You gotta look at it and you gotta say, like, okay, so that was a bad situation. Now, if I want to have guests over, how am I going to move forward and be as responsible as I can, both for the people in my life or people bringing dogs into my life, as well as myself and my dog? It's so easy to get caught up in telling ourselves stories about why these things happen and that it'll never happen again. It was a freak accident. It was this and it was that. Chances are, if your dog's done something that's pretty nasty, or even leading up to nasty, it's something that you've got to take super serious and you've got to start taking precautions for, guys. If your dog has been engaging in stuff like small fights and it's escalating as your dog's starting to get older, going from like 8 months to a year and a half, you're seeing weird stuff starting to happen. That's really typical. Get your dog into training. Don't put your dog in places like dog parks or doggy daycares if you're starting to see escalating behavior. If your dog is getting iffy around people or is already iffy around people, don't put people in harm's way. Put your dog in a crate, muzzle your dog, back tie your dog, get your dog trained. Get somebody that has a ton of experience with serious stuff, get them working with your dog. I'm telling you guys, we hear story after story of people getting sued, of people losing their dogs, of dogs getting put down, or people having to choose to put their dog down because the situation is so dire. Dogs being injured, the other receiving end, dogs being severely injured, dogs being killed, people being severely injured. Luckily, we don't have any stories that we know of, but I know that they exist out there. I mean, I've heard them, but not directly from us, about people being killed, but people being severely injured. We have a huge responsibility with these dogs that we bring into our life, for everybody else and to our dogs. And if they've got iffy stuff, it's on us 1000% to make sure that we keep them safe from harming someone else and keep them safe from getting themselves into trouble, which might cost them their lives, or might cost you your freedom, your ability to take your dog different places. Your dog gets deemed a dangerous dog. So many different things can go down if you're just not taking the precautions necessary. And of course, some of us get caught off guard. You may not know what your dog's capable of, and something terrible goes on and you didn't even know that your dog was capable of it, right? So then from there, you've got to take major precautions from there. So there's definitely people out there that have had their dog, like a new dog they've rescued, or they don't have a lot of experience with it, and the dog uncorks in some horrible fashion they didn't know. But I'm kind of speaking more to the people that have seen stuff and then are kind of living in this denial place of like it was just a one-time thing or a two-time thing or a three-time thing, or it'll be different this time. That's the people I'm mainly speaking to. If you've got stuff that's happened with your dog, let's get out of denial. Let's hit it. Let's address it straight on. Let's address it head on. Let's get your dog muzzle conditioned. Let's start working on training. Let's not put your dog in any situations where they can harm another dog or a person. Let's start fixing the situation. Let's not be in denial, and let's not have our ideals of how we want to live with our dog conflict with what our dog is actually really capable of, because you can end up in terrifically horrible amounts of trouble, as well as getting a dog or a human injured, and you could lose your dog, you could be sued. All sorts of really terrible stuff can go down from what should be a very fun, beautiful relationship, having a dog in your life, right? So no denial, guys. Let's be straight with ourselves. Let's be honest. If our dog's engaging in negative stuff or has engaged in negative stuff, it's real. Let's believe it. Let's not tell ourselves stories. Let's find answers. Let's be safe until we find our answers. Do not keep putting your dog in a situation where they can keep getting themselves into trouble and hurting themselves and hurting someone else, and hurting you ultimately. Everyone loses. So precautions, guys. Out of denial, into reality. Take precautions. Muzzle your dog, crate your dog, put your dog away, get help. Just telling you guys, bottom of my heart, they're the worst stories in the world. Nothing's worse than hearing about everybody losing, because that's what happens when something like this goes down. Everybody loses. So please, for me, do what you can, get help, and let's sort this out, and let's not pretend bad stuff's not happening. All right? Sean from The Good Dog. Sorry about the bummer message, but it's a really important message, and if it helps save somebody from getting injured, or a dog getting injured, or you losing your dog, then it's well worth the bummer message. All right? Talk to you guys soon. Bye.